What makes America one of the biggest superpowers in the world? The global positioning. We have bases everywhere where if you mess with us, we got a damn warship literally a couple hundred miles from you that can just get rid of you.
That's what happened in Venezuela. How many minutes did it take to capture the president?
Less than 3 hours.
I don't think it was met with any resistance. I think he was like, here's the passcode to my gate. I'm going to be in my bedroom.
Yeah, with my wife.
Make sure you knock 3 times so I can put on my Nike Tech outfit before I leave.
Once you keep just going down the rabbit hole, you end up realizing the special interest groups, the lobbyists, there's just so much influence inside of our government, inside of our Congress, that it ends up being, left wing, right wing, same bird. When will Americans when will we raise our level of consciousness or identify propaganda for what it is? It's propaganda, right? If you see a specific situation blasted all over the mainstream media, you know that it's
an agenda.
It's orchestrated and it's supported. Welcome back to the Carlos Reyes Show. Today we're going to dive deep into the most recent kidnapping of the Venezuelan dictator, Nicolas Maduro. And we're going to actually hear the pros, the cons, the good, the bad, and the ugly regarding why this might be a great move for America specifically, and why it may be a great move for the Venezuelan people in general. Outside of that, we also want to dive deep into why the country is on absolute fire in regards to this situation. So you definitely want to stick around for this one. Now, I do want to introduce the usual suspects of the show. My co-host, this is the first show of the year, and we want to start it off right. Welcome to 2026, by the way. I hope you have a beautiful, prosperous, healthy, peaceful year. But with that being said, sitting right across from me, my business partner of over a decade, Mr. Sal Shakir.
Hello, hello.
To his right, Mr. Born Closer himself, a.k.a. Adrian Salgado. And to my left, Mr. Zadie, a.k.a. the most interesting man in the industry.
The millionaires and billionaires have to resist from now on. Maduro, he's a leader, dictator, but Trump had no right to go and extradite him, and we will put a stop to it.
Thank you, Bernie.
Thanks, Doc.
Right? Thank you, Bernie.
You're very welcome, Mr. Carlos Reyes. And I have to say, for the Mexican community, you are an inspiration. And one day I really hope that you put yourself with the Democrats and you run for office, because this country needs a strong leader like you.
My political ideology has shifted.
Yeah.
Right? I've always been a Christian conservative, and I still consider myself a Christian conservative. However, over the past, I would say, 2012 to 14 years now, right? The first time I saw Obama's America by Dinesh D'Souza, that movie, right? That was mind-blowing. And that was like, me dipping my toes in the water of the political, stratosphere, right? Just to seeing how, the left versus right, the ideology of the left, the ideology of the right. But nonetheless, once you keep just going down the rabbit hole, you end up realizing, unfortunately, that the special interest groups, the lobbyists, the specific foreign countries, there's just so much influence inside of our government, inside of our Congress, that it ends up being, left wing, right wing, same bird. Hey, I'll get you back to the show in just a second. I just wanted to come on here real quick and encourage you that if you are a business owner that's looking for top level coaching and a great community because you're experiencing challenges in your business, all you got to do is click the link right in the description and we'll reach out with more information. Now back to the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I keep talking about how, from 2020 to 2024, what was constantly in our face was this like transgender kind of gay agenda that was constantly like being pushed on us, like this sexual degeneracy, this beta male kind of I guess, nature, right? You know what I mean? Or stereotype, right? I felt like we were weakening as a country. I really do. I feel like, especially on the moral side of the country, we're becoming morally bankrupt. So then, we're voting against that, right? We've been, we've been riding. I'm not even going to say the MAGA horse or the Trump horse, but just anybody else. You know what I mean? Like, right? Like whoever's on the other side. I don't care if it's Rubio, which now they're all, in my opinion, brother, they're going to go wherever the money is. I mean, I saw it. I've kept up with Rubio's career and Ted Cruz's career and JD Vance's career. And they were all, just against, specific foreign entities. And they were anti this and they were anti-Trump. And then, once big money came in and supported them and backed them, they shifted their ideology and they shifted their stance. You get what I'm saying? So money runs politics.
Politics is a business, though. It's the biggest business.
And here's what people don't understand, because I know we're going to get into the Venezuela situation and all that, right? But the fact of the matter is, what happens at the political level and the geopolitical level affects the economy, affects our pockets, affects our the prices of groceries, the prices of gas, the prices of houses, right? The interest rates. You know what I mean? So whether people want to understand this or not,
our daily life, by the way, not to like the yearly, like on the daily
basis, yeah.
So it matters.
Yeah.
It does. Unfortunately,
sort
it
of
matters.
Sort of it matters. It matters because it does have an effect, but then it doesn't really matter because you're not going to do anything about it. And I mean you.
For
as in
sure.
We
can't. So we don't have much control.
So it's like, what do? Do we spend our time trying to figure out what we could do, which we normally we can't do anything, or do we feed our families? So that's why, you were talking about it. You're like, it's a huge psyop. I go, you brought it up. You said it's over and over. It's just constantly in our face. Distraction. Don't support your family. Don't help your family. But, feed into this bullshit that they're pushing towards us to distract us.
But the two that Carlos was talking about, like this side or that side. I mean, I guess you've like now you've matured enough in politics, and I think we're maturing in politics altogether.
Yeah.
And to realize that there is no like the white side or like the darker side or like like the bright side or the bad side on the other one.
There's good and bad in both.
There's good and bad on both of them. It's just like it's two people with diapers and
two babies.
Which one has the shit leaked out? Which one is the least shit?
I mean, yeah, but at the end of the day,
the world is just a huge diaper commercial.
No, the politics. Let's
Pampers
lump sum the
versus
politics.
Huggies.
Is like, did the shit leak out to the pants, or is it contained in the diaper?
But politics
And
is
that's
everywhere.
the one
though.
that is more contained is the one that is better today.
Politics in government is one thing, but there's politics everywhere, man. There's politics in business. There's politics in relationships. There's politics everywhere. There's politics in family.
True.
How many of us know that family member that just is political about their communication with everybody? They're not really saying what they really think. And they're positioning themselves to be this person, but they're really not that type of person. So politics just exists everywhere. I mean, and we're all the same, left wing, right wing, same bird, but there's one pro-slavery party, and that's the Democrats. Okay, that's a fact. I mean, it's this written historical fact that's what they are.
Well,
I'm not
how
saying
does it even
Republicans
matter
are
at this
great.
point?
No, it doesn't. I'm just saying, like
on that. I guess that perspective to him is like the one.
Two pieces
Get
of
out of the
shit.
mud. Let's go way up. That's what I keep telling people now.
Yeah.
Like we have to. At some point, you graduate from this.
Yeah.
From the back and forth. Like
Not being in kindergarten, fighting
Exactly.
about kindergarten.
I don't
Sometimes
even-
it's fun. Sometimes.
I get it, but it's like, dude, that doesn't even matter
'Cause
anymore.
honestly-
Like raise it up a little bit. You know what I mean?
The
Or
only-
beyond that.
If Republicans and real talk, if Republicans and Democrats came together and fought together to make a better government, we would, overthrow the government, bro. because they're not doing
But they
what
don't
they should
get
be doing.
there, brother. These candidates don't get there unless they're funded, and so they're funded by these special interest
I'm
groups.
talking about the people. I'm not talking about the candidates.
I don't know what you're talking about, because what you're talking about is the opposite of democracy. Democracy needs to have two opposition of parties that emerge from the collective.
Not two.
Well, whatever the
I
opposite.
mean, our
at the end of the day-
forefathers said two will lead to the demise of this nation.
Well, listen. What I mean is, like, at the end of the day, is always going to come down to the two.
Yeah.
There may be more, but then there's always going to be the highest
two dominant
competitors,
ones.
the dominance. And if they were both together, then America will cease to exist not too long after that, because it takes one party in opposition with the other party to make sure that they do their best. Otherwise, they get lazy.
I'm not talking about the party. I'm not talking about the party. I'm talking about the people. So, going to what you're saying, if the Democrat voter and the Republican voter could stand hand in hand and stand on the same issue, things would change.
Well, I agree, but
that's
then
not
on a
gonna
long
happen
term,
because
you need to have opposition to make it better.
They make. I understand that because you understand business. I get that, but these positions are created to make both sides hate and blame each other, so nothing changes.
All right, the smoke and mirrors. That's it.
That's why America, this experiment has lasted so long. That's why we don't have somebody coming here and taking our president and taking him away, because we blame the other side instead of one person. Republicans blame Democrats, Democrats blame Republicans, and then that's why the nation will never be overthrown and nothing will ever change.
He's funded too.
And
Bernie
millionaires
Sanders is
and
funded too.
billionaires.
Hillary
just
Clinton's
billionaires.
funded. Obama's
But
funded.
here's
Trump
what
is
happened.
funded. Like, they're all funded.
Even if everybody does come together and they try to overthrow the government, then you run into a situation like you just ran into with Maduro, where it's like, okay, I still don't care what the people say.
Yeah.
I have the power, I have the authority, and this is what's going to happen. And people disappear.
Can we talk about some of the
It's real
psyops
talk, yeah.
over the last 12 months, please?
And by the way, before, I'm not saying let's overthrow the government, just so we're really clear. I'm just saying if Republican voters and Democrat voters just cut their gang mentality, right? Oh, I'm on the red side, I'm on the blue side, what's up? If you cut that out and you communicate with each other, change would happen. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I believe that the last true president of this country was JFK. That was the last, and by the way, that was a Democrat.
Yeah.
If you take a look at what he did, and don't get me wrong, like it's crazy because I don't have a hero. Like, when I look at some of my heroes, especially like president heroes like FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, like he was, he's kind of a hero to me. I've watched his stuff, and he did so much. He endured so much, right, as a president, and World War and stuff like that, right? Social Security, a lot of the stuff that came during his tenure was so beneficial to this country. But JFK, right, the Civil Rights Act and everything that he had going on, forcing Israel to disclose their nuclear arsenal, and forcing them, attempting to force them to disclose their nuclear arsenal. He was attempting to force them to for their lobby to register under FARA. You know what I mean? So that was like the last president. They say that was the last president to not go to Israel and kiss the wall. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. If you take a look at that, we're like, whoa, is that real? Because if that's real, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. So what I'm saying is
it though?
that I'll look it up.
Wait, should
By the way, I know he never kissed the wall.
Okay.
And I'm not saying, again, guys,
Who didn't
it's
kiss
very
the
quick
wall?
to be like, because I posted, I've been very active on Facebook, right? That's my personal Facebook, and I get active on there, and people get a little crazy, but I'm not sitting here talking against, Jewish people, or, it's not about being anti-Semitic. I mean, I think we're a little, hopefully you would think, the world is beyond that at this point, right? We're beyond, anti-black or anti-color and anti-Semitism. You know what I mean? Like, I would hope we're beyond that. Our level of consciousness has evolved past that.
Yeah.
It's been like 60, 80 years since like the Holocaust, right? But here's what I'm saying. I started this conversation by saying that from 2020 to 2024, the Democrats had their agenda that they constantly pushed on us, the Psyops, the psychological operations that was like, whoa, dude, this is too
And
much.
can
I
be
don't know.
women.
Like, you're driving me dizzy. Like, I feel like a fumigated cockroach. Like when you spray Raid on a cockroach. Like I'm like, oh, dude, this is too much, right?
It doesn't know where to go.
Yeah, I'm overstimulated, right? But then
Cockroach though. What a big cockroach.
I'm a big cockroach. So let's talk about some of the psyops since
huge.
Trump took office, right? The ice raids with the Mexicans, right?
Ice raids are terrible.
You know
Terrible.
what's crazy? Like, let's talk about the ice raids. Guys, when will Americans when will we raise our level of consciousness and take a look at or identify propaganda for what it is? It's propaganda, right? So remember, Trump ran on specific promises.
Yeah.
Epstein files, closing the borders, booming economy, right? Mass deportations, right? So, so he has to keep up. He has to save face. So how does he save face? They put it on the news. Here's the nasty reality of what's going on in this country. If you see a specific situation blasted all over the mainstream media, you know that there's
an agenda.
It's orchestrated.
It's propaganda.
And it's supported.
That's right.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
So if something happens later, hey, we did say that.
Yeah, bro. How long, guys?
That's where the opposition comes in.
Was it less than 5 months ago? Charlie Kirk was are we that desensitized?
Yes.
It hasn't even been 6 months. We've already moved on from Charlie Kirk.
Well, I know one person that hasn't moved on.
Hold on. Listen.
Candace Owens.
All right, listen. I just want to take a look at the psyops.
Wild today.
Yeah, I want to take a look at the psyops and then I'll let you guys go. Okay? Here's the psyops from what I saw. So you had the Mexican ice raids, that was like he was trying to say, "Oh, look, massive deportations are really happening." Right? That's how he was trying to appeal to his base. Like, look, I'm really doing it, but if you take a look at the statistic numbers,
Yeah, that's crazy.
brother, the guy's not even
Obama
projected.
did way worse.
No, bro, Trump's not even projected to deport 2.5, 3 million people in 4 years. And guess what? They said there was like 12, 14, even 20 million immigrants that came in over the past term of Biden.
Oh, wow.
See what I'm saying? So he's not
No
even
one's gonna talk about that.
It's not even a drop in
talks
a
about that.
bucket, is what I'm saying. It's not even a drop. But he makes it look like massive deportation. Propaganda, right?
He does, or the opposition does?
No, what he's saying is
No,
he's saying
bro.
like
Together,
he's
they do it
fulfilling on
together.
his promise. So
Yeah,
people,
bro. It's just go ahead, Sal.
Yeah, he's fulfilling on his promise at somewhat of a level, and it's on the media because he said that I was going to do it.
yeah.
So now he's just to keep his allies or his supporters,
yeah.
His base.
supporters,
And then
yeah.
people that
his
hate him,
voters.
that hate him need to see that, oh, it's a human rights violation. It's this, he's a dictator.
I mean, that died out. I told you that wouldn't last long. What did that last? Less than a month, right? So ice raids on the Mexicans.
What lasted a month?
Then
What do you mean?
the ice raids.
Oh,
Maybe even a week or two, right? In LA, remember?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like, some of these sanctuary cities, the ICE people were rolling up. By the way, I don't agree with.
But it's not televised anymore.
People are moved on,
That's
right?
what you're saying, yeah.
Because guess what happened next, right? The Charlie Kirk situation,
Terrible.
right?
Terrible.
The Charlie Kirk situation happened next, and that assassination. I mean, bro, I literally, I cried.
I
Not
saw
even
the
that.
tears.
You still have the assassination of the insurance guy. Remember?
Oh my God.
Oh,
we
yeah,
totally
Luigi.
forgot
Yeah.
about that.
Oh, well,
Yeah, that's
Luigi
crazy,
assassinating the
Yeah.
CEO of the
Oh,
insurance.
Yeah,
There
what
was
happened
that.
to that? Yeah.
Exactly.
People
They're
moved on.
going
He's
through
been in
trial.
court. He's been in court. He's been
Yeah.
going through trial, but nothing's been publicly televised. Nothing's been pushed as an agenda. or
What
anything
about
like
the
that.
assassination of the Democratic representative in Minnesota when she was trying to blow the lid on the fraud that was happening in Minnesota?
Well,
She got assassinated.
even what
Yeah.
you go back to the Palisade fires too as well, right?
Oh, the Palisades
those
fire,
those
yeah.
were there and then they're gone, and all of a sudden now California just approved that they're gonna make all that land affordable housing.
Well, before he did that, Governor Newsom said that he will not allow any investor to buy a property and pay less value than what it's worth. And then after that, the government stepped in and bought the land. Egregious. Total egregious.
All right, so thank you, Bernie. So after the
could call
Charlie
me
Kirk
Zadie.
situation and all these different psyops, then now you got this like anti-Israel movement happening throughout the country. Did you know that?
Anti-Semitism.
They're calling it the great they're
terrible.
calling it the great noticing, where it's not about anti-Semitism, but you know what I will say, I don't like to see that. I don't like to see the, like, you know, people, there's nasty people out there. I mean, I've been, you know, people come on me because I'm Mexican, right? There are ignorant people.
They come on you.
You know what I mean? They come down on me, right? There are ignorant people that will take like politically what's going on, right, with the government of Israel and their
Use it as
influence on this
fuel,
country, and then they'll be like, you know, Jews this and Jews that, and then that's when they take the substance away from, right, the argument.
Yeah. Well, then that feeds the fire or puts fuel on the fire
On the
of saying-
anti-Semitism.
on the
Yeah,
anti-Semitism.
so
It
that's why I'm
makes
like,
it really,
that needs to stop,
What
right?
percentage
Because
is
then-
that though? Really? I mean,
Yeah,
is
but
that,
it
is
doesn't
that like
matter.
a-
what
Doesn't
percentage.
matter.
It's what perception is reality, bro. If it's perception across the media or like they're doing psyops on that level.
Yeah.
Then,
It's getting pretty bad. Like it is, and it's not. Forget that. I'm just saying, we have to keep our attention on the substance of how much influence does Israel have or control does Israel have over our government? Because again, the moment that you start to step outside of that box and you make it a racial thing or a religious thing
Take
or
its power.
an ethnicity thing, then you take the power away from the argument. Yes.
yeah, you take its power.
Okay, so the great noticing, the whole, you know, Israel, a lot of Americans are waking up on the left and the right, by the way. The Republican, the Republicans are split. They're split. They're like, now it's like MAGA. There are subsidiaries inside of the Republican Party. There is MAGA and then there's America First.
Yeah.
Right?
Vision.
So let's keep going. So then you got Zoran and NYC, right? A Muslim that won for, I think, the first or maybe second Muslim, or maybe the first Muslim to ever
Definitely
win.
the first.
Right?
The first Muslim.
The first Muslim to ever win the mayor race in New York, and then he swore in under the Quran.
Yeah.
Swore in on the Quran.
I didn't even know that was possible, but it makes sense.
Does make sense.
It does make sense because you need to swear him in on something he actually believes and
That's right.
respects. Because, I mean, bro, the guy, no disrespect, but what if, I mean, the
put a
Bible
Bi-
is
you
just
put a
paper.
Bible on it.
Yeah.
But wait a
Exactly.
second, that begs the a question. What if we elected a Satanist? Would he swear an oath under the Satanic Bible? Would America allow that?
I mean,
Just food for
at
thought.
this point, we're
hope
very
not.
desensitized.
Just food for thought.
Okay.
We do want equality everywhere.
I mean, I see your point.
There's more psyops, by the way.
Yeah. This is all more.
Yeah. Ready?
But you're like raise above, like Carlos when you said raise above. There's
Yeah.
so much
Yeah,
stuff
bro.
coming out. Like
Yeah.
it's so above is so high.
Then
Like-
guys, don't forget, guys, Iran. You know, bombing Iran. That was, you know, that whole
people
situation.
forgot about that already.
People already moved on, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then, you know, the Somalis. Like, bro, so this whole
Tim Walsh.
this whole situation of the Somalis, people have known about this for a very long time. For years, by the way, right? And all of a sudden, like I said, you have to be very careful when the media, when X, when CNN, when Fox, when everybody's pushing this narrative of, oh, look what's going on. Everybody look here, look here, look here, look here. Something else is happening,
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
right?
That's right.
And then now, right after the Somalis, I mean, now the Venezuela. So everybody has their attention on the Venezuela.
That's
I was like, dude, I can't keep up. What's this week? What's
And
what's the
whatever
sign for this
happened to
week?
P.
You know-
Diddy?
You
And
know,
I'm
what?
talking
Oh,
about
P. Diddy.
Cuba, yeah.
What happened to the lube?
Puff Daddy.
No one explained what happened to the lubrication. That was taken away. And
He's got a
yes,
prison
the
girlfriend,
The
apparently.
Palestinians.
what about
The forgotten.
Colorado too? Wasn't there a group of immigrants that took over an entire apartment
Oh my
complex?
God,
The
yeah.
Venezuela.
Oh, and then police chief said, "Oh no, it's
those are
not
from
the whole
Venezuela.
city.
The Venezuelans,
It's
yeah.
not the whole city. No, it was just one apartment building. Like
So
that's
imagine,
okay.
bro. Imagine if you're just guys. And here's what we were talking about earlier. Unless that pays you full time,
Yeah,
you got to look at it for what it is.
yeah.
It's entertainment. It's good to be in the know, just to be in the know, right? Just because
Just know enough to be dangerous. That's it.
That's it. Just know enough to be dangerous, you know.
Happens if you're not, because I feel like I'm not. I don't know enough to be dangerous.
No, you know.
I
Because
don't
I choose.
think
I
you-
personally choose.
And by the way, know enough doesn't mean information. Know enough where you have enough wisdom to know that this is just a game and
Wisdom
like,
in the
so you can
sermon.
maneuver through it.
That's where
Yeah.
I'm at, right? I spotted that very, very early on, where I was like, oh, there. Honestly, it was probably after we went and watched that movie,
What movie?
Obama's America. Oh, right. Yeah. And that was very like diluted because of the time and age it was, right? When it first came out, they had to still kind of walk on eggshells. But now with the social media, with TikTok, with everything like that, nobody has to walk on eggshells. They just let it fly. So as it started to progress and everybody started going that way, I guess I was just like, man, that's definitely not a rabbit hole that I want to go down.
Stocks.
I'm just
Dangerous rabbit hole.
Makes you
Dangerous.
question everything, right? It makes you question even history. Like it makes you question, you know, if even things like Pearl Harbor was a psyop, or 9/11 was a psyop, or weapons of mass destruction was a psyop. See, it makes you question history, because now you know that the way you're like, dude, when you I don't know if you mature enough, or you come of age, or your level of wisdom and discernment, you know, gets to a specific level, or your level of consciousness is developed to a point where you just kind of see it. And then once you see it, you're like, well, if this is what they're actively presently doing right now, what about all these decades or centuries before us?
And what other games or what other plans are
What we don't
happening right now,
see.
being unfolding right now? We haven't even seen it just yet.
That's brilliant, because there's a saying, history is written by the victor. You will never see a history book written by the loser, and the winner will always make themselves seem great.
Bernie's dropping bars.
he's a little bit more wiser than
Yeah,
me.
This is, I mean, you're more Bernie than Bernie is right now.
Well, because it's the millionaire and billionaire class that are causing all of these issues that you're talking about, Carlos.
I didn't hear
If
you
we
say
get rid of
alcohol.
all of the billionaires, all of our problems will cease to exist.
You'll never get rid of the billionaires, bro.
I will do it in my
They'll become
lifetime.
billionaires again.
In my lifetime, I will do
Bernie, you
it.
got 2 more years, bro.
Unless I become a billionaire.
Don't you have like 2 houses on the beach?
That's why I say billionaires and not millionaires. Please pay
What is your
attention.
net worth, Mr. Bernie?
Millions, but not billions.
What is the net worth of
Cannot
Bernie?
believe the internet.
It's a psyop.
Yeah.
You're going to sources that don't even know what my bank account number is. How do they know my net worth? Because I sold a few books.
Wow. Okay. Anyway,
Yeah, we're talking about psyops. We're talking about like
psyops.
big political powers. Let's segue into what happened in Venezuela, because I think that's gonna solidify what we're talking about here.
All right.
Hold on, before you segue, right? This is my opinion when it comes to the psyops, because they're becoming so more and more. It's almost like they have to find a new one every single week,
yes.
right?
Well, our attention span's getting shorter
Our
with
atten-
TikTok.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
We've been programmed now to our attention span getting shorter and shorter and shorter, so it makes it easier for us just to. And then we've also, with social media, have been desensitized to anything that happens out there.
That's right.
We watched Charlie Kirk get assassinated pretty much live on what we would consider our television at this time, and you had people laughing and cheering,
Disgusting.
and you had people crying.
Yeah.
And you know, and some people may have not gotten over it, and now some people it's consumed, like you said, it's now has consumed their life. Candace Owen, right? Where now that's the only thing that matters for her right now. So once again, the biggest destruction besides the government is social media.
I agree. Well, I think us as human beings we're like, wait, consider this, bro. If the Venezuela thing just happened right now, he's being, I think he's appeared in court in New York, and Charlie Kirk thing happened. The Iran thing happened. I remember things used to take a long time to unfold, and people talk about it for weeks, months, and years. Now things happen over a weekend, and now we've moved on because our attention span, kind of what you mentioned earlier, our attention span has gotten so bad. So I think it's this became a different problem. Get prepared in 100 years or 200 years, maybe our great grandkids get to see this.
That's
like wars happen, and like in a minute, oh yeah, this country fell. It's a minute. It's a few second segment, and they moved on and to the next thing, to the next.
Atomic bomb
thing.
blast. By the
Yeah.
way, the Red Sox just won the World Series.
Yeah, there's a new Kool-Aid movie.
Can we talk about? Here's why these people, right? There's an elite club.
what people are you speaking
There's an
of?
elite club. You're part of that elite club.
Oh, Carlos, you have
And
no
guess
idea.
what? 99.999% of us are just not in it. And I'll give you an example, right?
That's true.
So, you know, Trump got into office, and you know, I'm hoping I got like 5 to 10% still hope, especially with what just happened with Venezuela. I'm like, okay, will the economy turn around? Because think about it. What is the number one priority for America right now?
Survival.
The economy.
Yeah, we're a capitalist country.
The economy. right? You keep people with a little bit of change in their pockets. It won't. Your disgusting, corruptive moves won't be so scrutinized. You're gonna, because like, they're making money, but yeah, I'm making money too, right? It's like whatever.
Yeah.
Like, that's just the way Americans, it's like, unfortunately, that's just what it is, bro. Okay, I'll give you an example. When Trump got into office the second time around, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be his legacy years. What is he gonna do? How does he want to go out, right? And then you start, allegedly, you start to award a lot of your family these governmental contracts of hundreds of millions of dollars. You got, Barron Trump, right? He racked up $150 million on a crypto play.
Was this
And he's 19 years old or something.
Was this prior to?
No, this is now during his.
No. But was this prior to Musk getting involved with that whole, like audit?
Doge?
The Doge, yeah.
What about it?
Were they awarded those contracts after Doge?
Yeah, after. Yeah, I'll give you an example. Donald Trump Jr. was awarded this, like I was telling you, this technology and drone contract of hundreds of millions of dollars, and the guy doesn't know anything about tech. The guy, in my opinion, he's not a very smart dude. He's not a very smart guy. He's definitely not very enthusiastic. He's not a very enthusiastic speaker. He's not a great leader. He's
Don Jr.?
It's kind of a beta. He kind of is a beta male.
Don Jr.?
Yeah, Don Jr. Yeah. Here, let me continue. So he gets awarded these hundreds of millions of dollars of whatever, the contracts, and then he creates these LLCs, and now he's taken over these. Well, here, let me rephrase this. He creates the company that allows him to get rewarded those government contracts, allegedly, again from the research that I've done. Okay, what about his equity that he took in Polymarket? Polymarket is like this thing, this new platform that you can gamble on events. Like there was a guy that just made $400,000 on if we were gonna go and take if we were gonna go to war against Venezuela.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Or take Maduro out of power. Someone made $400,000 on Polymarket. And then if you look at that guy, what was the guy, Nick, the guy that did blew the lid on the Somali daycares? Nick
Fuentes?
No, what's his name? Nick what?
Schwartzman?
Nick.
Estes.
I'll look him up. He's always what sweater does he always have?
A cashmere sweater.
What Nick Shirley.
Nick Shirley.
What sweater is he always wearing? Polymarket. He's always wearing the Polymarket sweater. You can see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who owns part of Polymarket? Don Trump Jr. Who glazed Nick Shirley on X? JD Vance, Elon, everybody. You see what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
So it's always this orchestrated. I mean, just like we're making business moves, these guys are making business moves at the top of the food chain.
And we're seeing crumbs, like where you're spotting some crumbs that can point
trickle
to
down,
that
yeah.
direction.
Yeah, like the whole blowing the lid on the fraud in Minnesota. If that is a $9 billion fraudulent scheme that took place, brother,
He didn't uncover that
There
by
are
himself.
trillions of dollars worth of fraud that are happening. You see what I'm saying? It's
Also, too, he
it's
didn't
crumbs.
he didn't uncover that by himself.
No.
Somebody definitely gave him a tip on like, hey, you should probably look into this.
Or
Well, if you look at, bro, where was he just a few months ago? He was in Gaza, like shilling for, Israel, saying, "Oh, this is not happening." Like, again, that's why you can't believe a lot of what's happening out there, right? So, again, just to continue down, the Trumps and the way that the Trump family, you thought the Biden family was making a little bit of money while they were in power. Remember I was telling you about that? Respectfully, they don't know what they're doing. The Trumps, they're in there making billions.
They're strategizing.
They're making think about it, you put a shark in that kind of water,
in a pond.
he's gonna be a shark.
Yeah, true.
The Bidens were guppies compared to the Trumps. Think about Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff and Project Sunrise over in Gaza, and they're starting to they're allegedly planning this multi hundreds of billions of dollars worth of this smart city in Gaza that they want to build. Mm-hmm. Think about that. That's Jared. You know what Jared Kushner is? That is Ivanka Trump's husband. Mm. It's in the family. What about Eric Trump and the crypto farming he got going on? And you see, like, they're making billions of dollars. And you know what? They're not the first.
Well,
Every person,
They are not.
every presidential family that's ever been in power, they figure out ways to make money.
Not just presidents.
Obamacare.
Yeah, it's not just
right?
presidents, it's the-
Bush and the Iraq War. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. They figure out ways to make money.
Yeah.
Right through, it could be through the military complex, right? Like Halliburton, you know, with Dick Cheney and Bush. And I mean, if you look at the history of America, that's just what it is. So that's always what it has been, and that's always what it might always will be.
Of course.
But people are pissed off because, again, you know, where are Americans winning in this? You see what I'm saying? That's all. America's just like, hey, take care of America, dude. We have enough resources and money and money plays and influence to take care of every single American.
But to keep
in this
it
country.
active, I mean, let's be completely honest here. To keep this going, because it's not just America versus America. It's not like that's what it is. There is the whole rest of the world. And the rest of the world, there's a lot of countries that are against America and they want to gain power. So there is gaining power. Like there's countries that have gained a lot of power in the recent years. Russia has always had it. And you got China now. Now China is becoming the direct competitor to the United States, whether it's technology, whether it's military, whether it's they're trying to decentralize the dollar, and that's one of the reasons I would assume that's, you know, I would argue that they went to Venezuela. Obviously, maybe it's a micro level, but that's happening. Russia and China put their hands together to take down the United States. We just have to be okay with that. We know that, but we kind of just, I would say the Democrats are kind of just looking away, like, oh no, don't worry, let's just be righteous and do the right thing. Well, you can't neglect that. You can't neglect that these countries are going to try to take you over. And I guarantee you, the Venezuela war happened the day before they snatched the president. The Venezuelan president was meeting with the Chinese politician, whoever they were. You know, so there is plays being played at a global level, and we can't just say, oh, it's only happening here. No, America's trying to survive against the world that's trying to take it by surprise too.
It's survival of the fittest. It always has
It
been.
is.
In humanity, historically, it always has been, right? And people conquer, you know, like when it's when, no disrespect to the Native Americans out there, right? Even us Mexicans, where we say, you stole our land. You stole the entire Southwest region from the Mexicans. You stole the entire country from the Native Americans. No, they didn't steal it. They conquered us. It's plain, yes, it's plain and simple.
Yeah.
They conquered us.
Let us not forget, Carlos, nepotism has existed since the dawn of time.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Kings and queens, matriarchies and patriarchies have had nepotism. And let me ask you, Carlos, if you have power and you have to give that power to someone, aren't you going to give it to your own children?
Of course.
Exactly. Well, aren't we all going to do that? Isn't it our duty to do that as parents, to give to our children? So nepotism is not really the American way, but it's the way.
It's the global way, but just give us some crumbs. That's all I'm saying. Let's get the economy going again, right?
Yeah.
Let's
That's
get
why
the
we must
interest rates
eliminate the
down.
billionaires. So we'll
Let's
get
the
the
gas
crumbs.
prices down. Let's get the groceries down. Affordable housing. Let's get let's get the economy booming again. You'll see. Because guess what? If Trump doesn't do that, by the way, if he doesn't pull off like that, here's what I'm going to tell you. And I wrote this the other day.
You think he'll be the biggest joke of a
No.
president ever?
Here's what I said. I said here's the major difference
Talk
between
his way out
liberals.
of it.
Bernie, you've been very interruptive today.
Sorry, I'm just fulfilling the character.
You're very excited,
So,
Bernie. This is the most testosterone I've seen from Bernie in a very long time.
It's the rejuvenation of the hair. Garlic
Yeah.
works
Where's
wonders.
AOC? She's always near next to you.
She is in the pits running my campaign. Thank you very much.
Here's the major difference between liberals and conservatives, right? Some of us call it like we see it. You know, I personally have been very critical this past year of the Trump administration.
Extremely critical.
I've been very critical, right? We don't blindly follow and support political parties' decisions. We call out the BS immediately, right? And I'll say this: the removal of Maduro, back to what we were saying, is one of maybe 3 breadcrumbs Papa Smurf Trump and his Smurfs have allowed to fall off the table for us. Look at this: close borders. He did that. I'll give him that. Okay. He reduced the sexual immorality and degeneracy. He did that. I'll give him that. And now Venezuela, we still got a long way to go, but here's what I'm saying. If he doesn't, in my opinion, you know, he needs a lot more big wins like this to be able to secure the midterm elections this year. Or else they're going to lose.
But you're saying win. So here's the thing with the win, right? Okay, all of this stuff is happening, and then you guys, we're hitting key points here. How are we being affected by? How are Americans like coming up? How like we're still paying taxes, we're still overpaying for everything. We're still not making money that everyone thinks that they should be making, right? So once people feel that, then
well, that's what Sal was saying, that this move
Yeah.
could spark or potentially move the economy in that direction.
well, every move he's made has supposedly done that.
No,
like
no.
you talk about tariffs, right?
Haven't seen it.
Tariffs, exactly. We
Haven't
haven't
seen
seen
it.
it, but tariffs were supposed to be a way of us not having income tax because we have
the deficit is still $38 trillion, dude.
But it's failing. It's not working.
Let's be honest here, man. Like you're a business owner. You know, how many things have you deployed, or how many strategies that we've deployed
That have failed?
historically? Not has failed. Forget failure. That it takes multiple layers. So there's phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4 until you see its fruition.
So this right here,
Oof.
right?
Yeah.
We talked about this the other night.
Yeah.
This right here, we talked about this in like 2021 or
He's
2022.
referring
2022.
he's
No,
referring
2020
to
was
empresarios.
we had a
That's what he's
plan to
referring to.
launch a community.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have it. I actually have it in the notes.
No, but
so-
in 2022, we actually started transitioning into the general business space.
correct, but a
In
community. I'm
22?
talking about
Yeah,
generally
22.
a community.
When our CEO, when we had a CEO that was working
Yeah.
here, and we brought in an expert to give us a rundown of some of the plays that were happening. You know,
Now
in
we're
the
here
private
4
equity
years
space.
later. It's like
Yeah, absolutely, brother.
That's what you're
Exactly.
talking-
So it takes time, but also, I'm just listening to what I was trying to say. It's not one play. Sometimes you have to have 5 plays, and they all have to be played
Working,
right
yeah.
to achieve a win. It can't be one of those 5 that hits.
Yeah.
So they're going to deploy many plays. There's maybe 10, 20, 30 plays are happening. Some of those do take time, and you would hope that they all merge or they happen at the same time or intercept and guarantee you a win. For tariffs, for tariffs, the goal was to bring factories, and those factories would make money.
Yeah, right.
Well,
That's not gonna happen overnight.
What I need a fact, bro. This is not Minecraft.
Yeah,
you don't
can't
just
build it
drop
right.
a.
You got to build a factory in 5 years.
Build it
yeah.
overnight.
And they're like, click,
yeah.
click. I need 1,000 people. Like, click, click, buy them. That it doesn't work. That
Amazon.
yeah, where is the money, dude?
You're right.
This is
That's
a
right, you're right,
global
you're right.
global play, or this
Yeah.
is an entire country playing.
We'll see in 10 years. We'll see in 10 years.
we all have to hope. From Venezuela, I'm just gonna say it so I can beat the punch. I think what happened in Venezuela is a win. Now, is it morally right or wrong? We can have a conversation about that. But I chose to make it okay. Like morally, I feel okay with that because historically, I remember even in high school, I remember. Venezuela was one of the worst countries that have poverty. There's a lot of violence in there, and they have a lot of resources and potential to be a good country. They just don't know how to run it.
What were you saying their inflation percentage was?
It's 53 million % since 2014, I think, or inflation is 50 million. Let's say 50 million %. That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Can't
That
even
should tell you that
comprehend
they
that.
don't know what they're doing. Like whoever the government is or the corruption, whoever they are, they don't know what to do. So morally, I'm like, okay, the United States went there and said, you know what? There's a lot of resources. We're going to help with those resources. We're going to get rich while helping, but also we're going to give the people the power so they can get rich too.
Yeah.
You know,
And then if you ask me, like, is this a morally a good move? Well, you have to look at it like the diaper joke I talked about. Which one is a less shitty? Well, you've seen what it looks like with Maduro and his colleagues and the prior presidents
It's
and the
been
prior
so
presidents.
bad, bro.
It's
So
not the
bad.
trajectory is not going to get better.
Yeah.
So somebody came in and said, you know what, this is going to be the new trajectory. I'm going to take some money while I do it.
While I do it,
you know,
yeah.
while I can, and also
$1
we're going to
billion.
position our political power while we're at it. So as an American, I support it.
I agree.
Morally, I'm in confliction with the morals. However,
In what aspects?
I would still arrive.
What would
at
be immoral?
no, I'm saying that
it would be
to do
immoral not
wrong
to do
is
something.
wrong. There's different shades of wrong, right? Wrong is wrong.
What's wrong?
Well, what's wrong is like we went and eradicated a dictator amongst a different
Hold on, can I ask you a
amongst
question?
the cut a deal.
Wait, can I ask you a question? Hold
Unless
on.
they cut a deal. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I
Can
think
I ask
they
you a
did.
question? Okay, let's say you give your son Play-Doh,
Yes.
and you say, hey, I don't want you to mess up the house with this Play-Doh. And he goes and he throws Play-Doh everywhere. He just completes a shitstorm of Play-Doh.
Yeah.
You forgive him. You forgive him. 5 years, you forgive him. Eventually, what are you going to do with them?
You're gonna punish him.
You're going to take the Play-Doh away, right?
But that's his Play-Doh, bro. The oil and gas, and that's their Play-Doh. That's not my
I'm
Play-Doh.
talking about the country.
I made it. Trump made that Play-Doh his Play-Doh. That's what I'm talking about.
Sal, what was I just telling you? Welcome to humanity.
Absolutely, and I'm okay with it because I think that's like morally, I have to question it just so I can arrive at the end.
True.
And the end is what?
To protect the interest of America and Americans.
All the world.
Or
the
everybody.
world,
Forget Americans.
everyone.
But that's why morally,
Iran
I
was
have to.
heavy in there. Russia was heavy there, and China was heavy there, and North Korea was heavy.
And we're going to be overtaken. So even not as American, as a human being, I'm going to say, my hopes is that we do a good job, and the people, whoever is going to be in power next, is going to do a good job. Where they're going to be in a better situation than they were at yesterday.
Economically, absolutely, bro.
You can't get worse than.
You got to watch this documentary I
50
told you guys to
million%.
watch, the Maduro Indestructible on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right, bro. This guy is rationalizing food supply.
Rationing.
He's rationing food supply
What does that mean?
to the people that support him. He doesn't even like do that for the people that
Which
don't.
is like 12% anyway.
No, seriously, he's running this thing like, bro. He's running this thing like Kim Jong Un.
Kim Jong Un.
Yeah, he like you
North
got to have a
Korea.
poster up and like that's how like you'll get specific amount of bread, specific amount of flour.
So he gives food to people that support him.
Yes.
Basically, what you're saying. Okay.
Yes, I'm telling you, it's pretty bad down there. Like
So
if
he
you watch-
oppresses them, and while they're hungry, he's like, "I'll give you food if you support me." And you would hope it grows more than
Kneel and
12%.
bow, and I will give you food.
brother, he became that kid that should have never had control of the toys.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
he became that kid that had control of the entire playground, and he's like, you could only play if you do this, this, and this. You could only play if the only people that were getting rich was his regime. And again, at the end of the day, the moral thing to do is to take care of the people. Yes, take care of the Venezuelan people.
Who does that though?
And
So
that's
if we
why-
do that, I make peace.
That's
with it.
why I feel like I'm praying that this move that was made by America, right, is of huge benefit to the Venezuelan people. Now, if it's a huge benefit to the Venezuelan people, then this definitely is a win-win.
That's right.
That would solidify it morally.
Absolutely. Because guess what? Now we're pumping oil out of there, right? Now we're pumping oil. Now jobs come back to that region, to that area. You know what I mean?
And by
The
default,
Americans.
geopolitically, that we're more secure now. because
Globally, what makes America, right, the one of the biggest superpowers in the world? Yeah, of course,
Cheeseburger.
military-wise and economically,
Bases
right?
in
I get
foreign
it.
countries.
I get all that, right? But the global positioning, the logistical positioning around the world, right? We have bases everywhere where if you mess with us, we got a damn warship like literally a couple 100 miles from you that can just get rid of you.
I mean, that's what happened in Venezuela. It took how many minutes did it take to capture the president?
Less than
and-
3 hours.
Yeah, that's what I
Less
was
than
gonna
3
say.
hours.
Which even more tells me that I don't think it was met with any resistance. I think he was like, "Hey,
that's one of the three-
Here's the passcode to my gate. I'm gonna be in my bedroom.
Yeah, with my wife.
Just make sure you
My
knock 3
Nike,
times.
I'm gonna
so
be ready to run too.
Make sure you knock 3 times so I can put on my Nike Tech outfit before I leave.
I heard that soared like crazy
That's
too.
It's sold out.
That's a clip. So seriously, you know what's crazy? If you know a guy like Maduro, because again, I have been studying this guy. I know he comes from poverty, spent a lot of time in Cuba, had the communism ideology growing up. You know what I mean? He idolized Che Guevara, and he idolized Fidel Castro. So he already, came under Hugo Chavez. Hugo Chavez named him the president. Once Hugo Chavez got cancered, right? Hugo Chavez went to Cuba to die, came back, they buried him in Caracas. I know the whole history, right? This guy was a bus driver, comes from poverty, etc., right? And again, this was he truly, in my opinion, he was not a good person. He was not a good person, and and again, here's the difference. Everybody's comparing this to Iraq. I don't know if you saw that. Everybody, look what happened every time we go into and we destabilize a regime. What happens? Yeah. We go to Iraq, we go to Afghanistan. What happens? We go to Libya. What happens? Right? Gaddafi. What happens? Right? This is different. We have more control. We don't know the Middle East, guys. We know America. You know what I mean? Guess what? I believe that a lot of things that happen in the Middle East, they don't necessarily affect us the way people may think. You know, they're always, but that's the propaganda. Oh my God, Iran, they can reach us with their missiles. Come on, bro, give me a break, right? How about the Cuban Missile Crisis when, that was a real threat? You know what I'm saying? That's a real threat.
Well, speaking of missiles, China does have missiles that is a threat to the United States.
Who?
China.
Who
They
cares?
actually-
We
they
got
go
missiles
sub over,
that
they
are a
go in
threat to
space.
China too.
No, what I'm saying is that there is countries now gaining power that can threaten the United States in the speed of the missiles they have and the way that they go through space that we may not have
Guess
a
what?
chance.
We're closer to them than they are to us. You see what I'm saying?
But that's why we're all
Alaska's
global
positioning.
positioning.
Yes, it's
But
about
at the end of the day, China will not do anything to the United States because we are their greatest
Consumer.
Exactly. Unless
chances
they
are-
replace us with someone else first or replace the
well,
dollar.
They never will.
the China-Russia
the
you know,
allegiance.
al-
Yes.
alliance is concerning.
But
Honestly, it's
Russia
the
doesn't
biggest
have
concern.
Russia doesn't have the capacity to consume at the levels that America consumes.
That's
Cannot
not what I'm
replace
talking
us.
about. Both superpowers are going about. They're trying to decentralize the dollar.
That's the key.
They're trying to.
That's the key.
They're always so they're moving as a unit, and they have that advantage of us. They're like two
That's true.
partners.
Yep.
And we're here, fighting our own.
But
But their missiles are still made in China, and they'll probably break before they hit us.
But the issue with us, this is the issue with the United States. China,
They're not made like the one. They're not made like the Labubu toys that you're
but
getting
listen,
at all.
China and Russia can execute a 100-year plan. The United States changes every 4 years. 4 years, we're going a direction, then we change directions, then we change directions, and then we just roll around in a circle.
When
and
are
we're
you gonna
just circling
retire?
around. When Nancy Pelosi gives me my cut for allowing her to take what she took.
Here's
Allegedly.
the other play that you guys may not be seeing, right? So I believe that a big part of Russia's economical kind of leverage comes from oil. Yes. So what happens if we flood the market with some oil? What happens to the prices of oil?
Goes down.
It comes down. So what happens if the prices of oil drops below $50 a barrel, $45 a barrel? What happens to Russia's economy?
Well, that's acting as if Russia's using it sit still. They would not do damage. They're gonna make their moves too.
Here's what I'm saying, right? I believe if we have the power to impact, right, that specific scenario, well, now Russia can't fund their war with Ukraine. And respectfully, I used to be concerned about Russia and their military power, but they can't even beat Ukraine, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, they've been fighting them for what, 4
Ukraine
years?
backed by the United
right next
States.
to
Like, come on, what are we doing here, bro?
They're really fighting the United States, though.
Regardless.
And the rest of the world. No, the whole, pretty much the whole
yeah,
world.
but
has
the
condemned it.
the soldiers there are Ukrainian.
Yes, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, they can't even take them. Like, I get it. We're supplying money. We're supplying weapons. I get it.
Yeah.
Right? But it's like, you're just like, bro, would that happen to the United States? No. We would dominate. Bro, most of the time, intentionally, if we want to take over a country, we take over a country fairly quickly.
Absolutely, but okay, I don't want to take this episode to a whole direction, but I think it's fair to make that statement. So I do a lot of political studies, but not on politics. I watch what's happening on maybe even on the underground levels or so China, why Trump said the AI, he's investing so much in AI. Just because China is developing something so strong, they have an algorithm. They're pretty much, their military is going to be run by AI. But what's more dangerous is because the Psyops are being managed by AI now. Content to confuse people. So if they want to take over a country, if a country to be taken over, if they want to take over the United States, they can technically do it with Psyops first.
Yeah.
That would be the phase 1, and then there's phase 2. Or when something like this happens, they can divide a country with its social media.
That's right.
That's why they weaponize social media on an AI level right now. And that's why the United States wants to do it as well. They want to do it, but they want to do it obviously as a defense system.
Yeah.
But they're not talking about what's happening at the civilian level. And that's what China's doing, is weaponizing AI at that level.
But that's why Zay said they have the 50-year, 100-year plan, right?
Yeah.
To defeat us.
And like you said, right? If you have a plan in place and it takes years after year after year after year, centuries, decades to actually unfold, How long ago did they start this plan, and where are they at?
Well, what if AI doesn't need time to think fast?
Exactly.
So with AI, bro, give it a decade.
Bro, even now,
Within a decade, can you imagine the psyops that you're talking? At least the psyops we're talking about right now, some of it is man-made. At least most of it is man-made. Can you imagine if it's happening at an AI level that's producing trillions of content, trillions of minutes per day,
Yeah.
and to confuse people and show like to kind of feed on people's fear?
I mean, if we're having a tough time now, imagine in 10 years.
yeah, identifying what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
Right? Even the picture that they showed of Maduro when he's walking out and he's throwing up a peace sign, like
You don't know what's real anymore.
my intention now is like question it first.
Yeah.
Like, did he really?
Then you got to run it through other AIs to tell you if it is AI or not AI.
Yeah.
Bro, there is an AI that can help people scam nowadays. Like literally, you can have a scammy AI that can talk like people,
Does it have
produce
accent?
video on phones.
I want to go back to the days where it was just are Kim Kardashian's hips photoshopped or not? Can we just get back
Oh my
there?
God.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
Well, as we wind down the show,
Wind it down, Carlos.
here's what I will say is, we got to continue to, work, like get our houses in order, right? That's control the controllables. Like you said, we don't have a lot of control of, the elites are going to elite.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the elites be eliting.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like I used to not know that. That's why I was so heavily, vested in like
For us.
yeah, I used to think like, and it all works out the same, bro. They run on this narrative and they get us all riled up and they feed our, they appeal to our ideology and our interests and our desires. Then they get there and they do none of it. They do very little of it,
Yeah,
right?
it sounds like having a favorite NFL team.
Yeah.
They're gonna win Super
Yeah.
Bowl.
Right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. But
Cowboys?
Anybody, bro.
They've had,
You know how many
a
people
rough
put
run
their
for
they put their
decades.
heart, they put their soul into their NFL team, and they read the stats and they look at the schedules and the players and
right.
upcoming players
They
and
know
stuff
their-
like
the
that.
training
They know
camp,
their
Training
favorite
camps, and then
food
all
of the
of-
quarterback.
And then all of a sudden the Super Bowl comes
draft.
around and they're not there. And then everybody just
They're
And then-
partying.
and then-
they
and
went
then,
to a party and the night before they got caught behind the wheel sleeping drunk.
And then a team changes cities.
they don't care.
Just ruins
They
it.
don't care.
Yeah.
So
who wins? The NFL. At the end of the day.
yeah, bro. So, again,
right.
I think we, as Americans have
Coliseum.
to continue to, focus on our health, focus on our families, focus on our businesses, focus on, being a good example, serving others, right? Guiding others, supporting others. That's what we're, by the way, as we wind down the show, I love what we're doing in our community, right? Specifically empresarios. Why? Because we now have our own little party.
yeah.
We have our own little tribe,
That's right.
where, one of the community members this morning was, hey, bro, I want to invest into the raise that you guys are doing to flip some houses with fractional, right? He's like, I'm ready to throw in. And again, if we have an opportunity to do something very great with what we're building inside of the empresarios community, right? And I believe that the foundation of it is those 5 critical drivers that we talked about, the 5 principal drivers, which is, personal development, business development, financial literacy, community, and legacy, right? So we need to focus on that in 2026. I feel like in 2025, we went hard. Like I think we went the hardest we've ever gone in our history in business, as far as laying foundation and fighting and identifying
Strategically.
business ventures, right? Fruitful business ventures, fruitful offers, right? A fruitful almost core values and principles that we're going to operate by. You know what I mean? So the foundation has been laid. Now it's time to build, because as the world's going to continue to be on fire. Again, we don't know what the psyop this week is going to be, right? It's like, what kind of, it's like, hey, what psyop off the menu do you want this week? What do you want? You want a Middle Eastern psyop?
Let me get that
Right.
flavor. Let me sprinkle some
Yeah.
of this. Let me get some of
You want a
let's
South
snatch
American
a president.
psyop?
Why don't you sprinkle in some alien activity in there for me too? Right?
Speaking
There
of
we
which,
go.
remember to buy my book, Fight the Oligarchy, whatever you say
You
it.
are an oligarch.
Speaking of aliens, why do
Yeah, just buy the
aliens
book.
stories always like probing like? They're like aliens really interested in
There's some
people's
fetish,
rectums
the
like
fetish,
that?
yeah.
By the
Like,
way,
oh, alien got me.
By the
He's
way-
sucking on my ass.
Yeah, like come on, dude. They travel the galaxy to come look at you.
real quick, guys, somebody tried to bring in politics into the group this weekend, right? And
How
people,
dare they?
I think the right move was made where we're like, hey, let's not bring politics into this chat.
Yeah.
You know?
Set an example and eliminate him from the group.
No. We took care of it. We took care of it because I want to keep that chat, what it is and what it has been.
That's a good idea.
I don't want
it is
negativity.
it's still a topic of conversation at the end of the day, right? Politics, geopolitics, it's still a topic of conversation.
High intellectuals love geopolitics.
Absolutely, once again, it's a chess game above any other.
Yeah.
Right.
Big.
Yeah,
chess game.
Mental
it's the biggest chess
manipulation,
game you can-
masturbation.
I believe it's an area of interest for a lot of intellectuals, geopolitics and the way that, the world moves are being made.
As long as you don't get consumed in the mud.
Sure, they
Well,
love
that's
talking
why
When
I'm
you're
no
raised
longer
above
there.
that,
Yeah, bro.
They
It's
love
actually
talking about
fun.
things that they can't change.
I had to disengage with the guy named Tim Allred from Texas yesterday because he got really personal. I said, hey, brother, out of
personal.
respect, I said, I'm going to disengage with you because politics has no room for personal emotions to be involved. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to get in the game of politics, you have to know, keep it intellectual, keep it factual, not emotional.
and you'll stay engaged.
And you'll stay engaged. I'll stay engaged, right? Let's debate. Let's debate, right? But
People aren't
once
like
he-
that though, bro.
Huh?
Like what you're saying is very finite. Like your view on politics is not the way people's view is.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
it's not.
it's agree with me or you're wrong.
Or you're a bad person.
You're a bad person.
Yeah.
You're going to hell.
That's why I'm praise God, I'm operating at a level now because of what I've been able to learn over the past whatever years. Is that now it's like, dude, I'm just not going to engage with you. God bless you. I'd rather keep the relationship with you. You know what I mean?
Oof.
Yeah. So anyway, with that being said, man, today was a great show. Good first show of the year. I'm excited. We got the Mansion Mastermind going down this week. Our most successful yet. We keep saying that after every Mansion Mastermind, which is a blessing, right? What I also love is that we are going to be hosting our first Sedona Breakthrough Retreat for our community members. And that seemed to have sold out within 15 to 20 minutes, right? So again, that's it. I just want to focus on building our little government.
Why are you
inside our
focused?
community.
Why are you focused on making people millionaires and billionaires? Is what I want to ask you, Carlos. Why do you do that?
Well, because it's not a me thing.
I kind of have been part of it too. But why do we do that? Why do we make millionaires and billionaires? Why do we do that?
Well, there's so many different plays at hand, right? There's legacy, there's servanthood, there's truly loving others, like Christ has directed. Love thy neighbor as you love thyself.
So you are talking about true wealth.
Yes.
Yes,
That is more important than any dollar.
that is what has us on fire, and that's what has us with the biggest sense of purpose that we've ever had in this organization.
Yeah.
The fact that we are actually helping people at a very high level, and it's not. Watch this. Ready, Sal? I'll close it here. Remember the wholesale back and forth type of mud that used to happen back in the day? I used to be a part of it, of course. Right? Sometimes even the driver or antagonist, right?
Takes a lot to admit that.
Well, that's how politics is.
Takes a lot to admit that.
See, now we have risen above that.
Yeah.
Right, we've risen above that mud, like the wholesale side. Like I remember being attacked by some guy in a wholesale. Said, "Hey, bro, you can be the king of that hill. I'm okay."
yeah.
We moved on.
You could be king of the dipshits.
We moved on, right? Well, the same thing with the left versus right, blue versus red. It's like rise up above it, and move on. So I feel like that's where we're headed now, man. It's not about what private equity plays, where can we take equity in what companies or whatever. No, it's about everything.
To answer his question, by the way, you're saying like, so a dollar like making money in the United States. We're a capitalist country. So how do you serve people? Help them be better capitalists and good people. So in other countries where they're not a capitalist country, to be a good citizen and help them may come in a different form. But in the United States, to be a good citizen in the United States, you need to be a better entrepreneur and help other people be better entrepreneurs. That way, we stay a strong country that uses its power.
Well, look at the sequence, Sal, of the five drivers in our community, right? Personal development is number one.
Who doesn't need that?
We want you to be the best version of yourself, the healthiest version of yourself, mentally, spiritually, and physically. We want you to be a great husband and be a great dad, be a great wife, be a great mother, right? That comes number one for a reason. I don't know. Do you see how sequential it is?
Yeah, absolutely.
Then it's business development. So what happens? Okay, personal development, right? Now you become the 7-figure person or the 8-figure person that can build a 7-figure business or an 8-figure business. Now you start to make more money with business development. What comes third? Financial literacy.
How do you manage?
You don't piss it all away.
Management, investments, right? All of that, charity, etc. Right? What comes number 4? It's like community, which is, tapping into the community, doing deals with the community, right? Growing or developing, brotherhoods and sisterhoods in the community. And then number 5 is legacy, right? Serving the world at a high level, serving humanity at a high level. So it is it's in sequence.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep. So with that being said, excited about this week, guys. Thanks for joining. And hey, if you have not subscribed to this show, please do so. We love to see the comments down below. I try to get to the comments as often as possible. Thanks for tuning in this week. We'll see you on the next episode.